It's wonderful to see you all again, RP family. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all that you have done. It's very amazing. Once more, don't worry about these daily updates and keep assisting. You're covered by your boys. But let's see what's happening. It is evident from a 24-hour view that today is the day of the FOMC meeting. As anticipated on the channel, there is a pullback in the run-up to the FOMC meeting. Before the actual FOMC meeting, there will be some turbulence. Of course, tomorrow is far more significant in my opinion. That is where the United States and China are meeting. As you can see for yourself, while most currencies are now declining, some are rising. However, if you consider this image as a whole, we must not overlook the previous week. Many of the coins are up. At the moment, the price of XRP has increased by almost 108K. The price of XRP is $263. The USD side is merely declining, around 0.6K6B. We were up roughly 0.1 Bitcoin victory fee. The trade volume is roughly $5 billion every day, and the value is $158 billion. Please take note that nothing on this channel should be interpreted as financial advice. Always exercise caution and conduct your own research before making a cryptocurrency investment. Take a look at this. Powell addresses the media at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and the FOMC makes its decision at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Once more, keep in mind that there's a good probability a 25 basis point rate drop will occur. Once more, we'll have to wait and see. However, kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. But let's examine this. The interesting part is this. It brings me joy. Additionally, it gives me a clearer picture of what to look out for when the XRP ETF begins trading. Take a look at this. On its first day of trading, Bitwise's Solana staking ETF had the highest volume, with trades totaling $55 million. This exceeded the amount of any other cryptocurrency ETF released in 2025. That's it. Once more, we must recognize that institutional demand is driving this cycle. I continue to believe that institutional demand from hedge funds, insurance companies, and private equity firms is the reason behind the ETF inflows. Self-custody won't be an issue for them. These players will therefore arrive with large sums of money. This is the wonderful thing about ETFs. Bits acknowledges the Solana family once more. Once more, I am aware that some individuals aren't, and they are merely curious as to why XRP isn't receiving it first. It doesn't operate that way. It's not that. Give credit where credit is due. Solana received it first, so you should be aware of it. The status quo is in place. However, with so many other occasions approaching, I think it's almost here. Additionally, given the fact that the Solana bar and Litecoin ETFs went live yesterday, I believe the XRP ETF will launch much sooner than most people anticipate. This is quite fascinating. Naturally, we will now monitor the launch date of the XRP Spot ETF. We're interested in seeing if that can surpass Solana's record of $55 million, which is the current 2025 record. We'll wait and see. But pay attention to this. The largest economy in Europe, Germany, has put a significant sum of Bitcoin aside. Government interest in cryptocurrency is growing, as evidenced by Germany's FTP's desire for a national Bitcoin reserve, similar to France's. With regard to Bitcoin and the strategic reserve, the European Union may be moving slowly. This is extremely really good news. But take a look at this. This is just awesome. For the first time ever, the S&P 500 broke beyond 6,900 as the day came to a close. There are 398 stocks that make up the S&P 500. Closed is not looking at the bright side. This indicates that while the typical SE company closed in the green, 80% of them did so in the red. What does this signify? Since big tech is attracting a lot of attention, the larger stocks are essentially carrying the sub-500 average. This should give you a new perspective on things. The SUP is rising. Without a doubt, the Nasdaq is rising. Why, therefore, are these metrics actually increasing? In this instance, the largest corporations such as Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Nvidia make up the majority of the sub-500. As we previously stated, if you look at how these stocks have been performing, they have been doing fairly well. Once more, nothing is truly explained by this. But once more, does a decline in interest rates imply a decline in other stocks? Will the S&P 500 rise even further in response to some of these predictions made by several of these experts? In conclusion, let's observe what occurs. Meanwhile, it's a good idea to anticipate, more precisely to pay great attention to, but also to peek at Quinton's door. Naturally, according to Quinton, the value of addresses holding more over 100 Bitcoin is increasing. Large quantities are being purchased by the smart money. It's true. As you may be aware, the larger organizations are now actively collecting Bitcoin. I apologize. Whether you believe it or not, I'm still not feeling well. However, if you examine the larger players' savings over time, you will see that they are saving more and more quickly. Once more, organizations are the most frequently mentioned players in this context. To reiterate, institutions are the driving force behind this current run. Yes, it's fascinating to see this. These folks will undoubtedly be around for a while. They are aware that Bitcoin is a valuable asset. It is evident to ISA that they are purchasing a vital sizzle connected to my previous statement. We must keep a careful eye on the involvement of larger players. For instance, Evernote, which invested $1 billion in XRP prior to its Nasdaq listing, was supported by Ripple. What are your thoughts about that? Tell me in the comments below. Real-world XRP holdings are currently valued at $364.2 million, a 215% increase over the previous quarter. These figures are beyond insane. You are well aware that on-chain numbers are sufficient to trust Arthur. At 274 billion XRP, BNB's XRP exchange reserves are among the lowest levels in more than a year. Instead of trading their XRP on platforms, people are holding on to their money. Smart money accumulates in silence. The graphic may not yet depict the next shock to market liquidity. In any case, this is just another intriguing viewpoint. In essence, it concerns Binance, the largest exchange globally, and exchange funds. The fact that people are removing their XRP from platforms indicates that they intend to keep it for a very long time, which is excellent. They would prefer to hold on to their XRP wallets. And again, I want to emphasize that point very clearly. You should remove your coins from the exchange and keep them for yourself if you intend to stay in it for the long run, whether it's Solana or XRP. It's awesome to remember that. However, look at this. We are pleased to collaborate with XRP Australia 2026 Wave of Innovation. On XRP Australia, XRPL, Lean Sydney in 2026. Our common objective of accelerating the XRP ecosystem's growth and promoting blockchain innovation in the Asia-Pacific region is strengthened by the strategic partnership. Although everything is going great, let's check the current state of the price. As a result, yesterday's power price really woke up to 60 once more. We did lose ground though, and as you can see, the power started to climb again before falling again, which is encouraging for Bitcoin. Let's restart the live stream as we prepare for the FOMC meeting. At the moment, Bitcoin is strengthening. Again, you should be keeping an eye on Bitcoin as well. I am aware that Bitcoin peaked at $116,000, fell to $112, and then rose again. A few hours ago, it reached $113,700, but it was denied barely below the proof. I apologize. I meant the proof that is immediately below the crucial stop of 114,000. In the long run, Bitcoin doesn't seem horrible, but it's still too early to tell what will happen. Let's take a look at XRP's current situation. XRP is growing, as you can see, but what's most intriguing is how it's climbing inside this specific band. Indeed, it did fall to 2 by 56, but only